The worst were used self-justification, laid foundation, and all this were a big problem which were there. So this is which is very very important when disasters happen. Now I'll give you this example of this British Journal of Psychology 2021. Social influence matter. We follow pandemic guideline most when a close circle does. See, a lot of times the pandemic guidelines were given. When the guidelines were given, were it followed or not followed? Has anything come in? Psychologists lost this opportunity. Very few psychologists are working in. Many people say that why didn't people wear masks or followed the protocol? Now this is an interesting why many places and it gets spread. So is it because Indians do not follow or what's the crisis? Or whether it is worldwide or how does it happen? So social influence matter in Indian context or in a Asian context, pandemic guideline most often when a close circle does. So when people does it, everybody follows it. So somewhere you will have to strengthen the community. And when we speak about community, it also may believes that you will have to bring in people from same caste, religion and all that thing. So similarly, these communities can be binded together. Human science research stresses the key role of social influence in behavior change. Collective efficacy and collectivism significantly predicted distancing. To achieve behavioral change, crisis policymaker must emphasize shared values and harness the social influence of close friends and families. Okay, this is very, very essential. Let us go with this journey of I to we. This is which is very happening. So even in psychologists, we have gone to the extreme. Policymakers are going more to the individualistic. Individualistic is good because it supports the market economy. Collectivism is good if it supports the balance of social harmony. And it is more of a moderate and towards a mixed type of this thing. So many of the time, if it goes with I, nature will get affected. The very words, take for example, I can be a critic of this HRDC. This workshop is organized by Human Resource Development Center, HRDC. The word R, why it is there? R stands for resource. Resource means to exploit. So does HRD means that we are getting all the knowledge of exploitation? So if Human Resource Development Center should become, it should change its word and it should become Human Response Development Center. Yeah, human response. You should not be resource. And many of the time, the policymakers, it is a resource. Yes, HRD ministry was established which year? It was established in 86. Why it was established? Similarly, the link of market economy came in. In 80s, the market economy started it. And now what is happening, even the policies is also of exploitation. Education is also teaching exploitation, not living with the harmony. Now let us have the discourse and debate why that thing is there, because your whole orientation will go into this direction. In order to understand much more, we will see some of the works from problem solving to appreciation. Eric Fromm, this is a great psychologist but didn't become popular very well because he came from Germany, saw the crisis of World War, Nazism, and he came there. This is very, very essential. And John Milton's Paradise Lost to Paradise Regained. So premature to all these things will be there. Let us go with this. When you have these are two different approaches. If you are seeing the problem or you are seeing the strength, you will get all this. You have to use the intermingling of this. Just I'm doing the balancing of both. Otherwise, you see a problem and you try to, but you also don't build the strength of the community, strength of the people. Otherwise, you are going into quick fix solutions. So you have to balance both the policies. Identification and valuing the best of what it is. Analysis of a causes. Here what might be. Analysis of possible solution, what should be, action planning, being prepared for what could be. And this is the way the method it goes on. And maybe we can take it up as a discussion also. Interesting is this, Eric Fromm will come into it. He has spoken about two modes of people, having mode and being mode. Having mode is material possession, being mode is love and care. I'm not using the word lust, huh? Love and care. It goes to all level. What is your being mode, existing mode? It's little more philosophical. Do you love your nature? Do you care your environment? And here you will get the cultural beliefs which are there in the earlier generation till today also. You will find that they want to live in cosmic unity with harmony with the environment. And maybe science has to be criticized because science has been exploitative, because they want to have the mastery over everybody, and that is where the resource word comes in. Resource doesn't mean exploitation, huh? You have to be humble, you have to be harmonious with the environment. And Indian context mein, there are so many maybe you can call it rituals, or maybe you will call it but they coexisted with the environment, and environment coexistence was very there. So one is the struggle between having mode, being mode. In having mode you have a material possession, here it is love and care. In having mode, you are power and aggression. It is pleasure of sharing. Pleasure of sharing. Now, knowledge is also, knowledge is also sharing, and many of the time people don't share the knowledge. Information is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Those who lack information find that their faith is shaped by others in light of their own interest. And this is going with all the social sciences also, and within social sciences, there is a hierarchy. Yeah? Within social sciences, one wants to power and aggression, one wants to share. Because knowledge will give you power and aggression, and you'll see this kinds of power and aggression in academy also. And that is where it comes is patenting and all that. If information is there, why not it can be shared? So there is a struggle between open source and patenting. Okay, so all these struggles are going on in this thing. But this Eric Fromm has said about it. Universal evil of greed, envy, and violence. It is productive activity. And YOLO philosophy, you only live once. Now, this is a sad disaster. YOLO. Again, I'm speaking because psychologist deals with thoughts, ideas. And this idea, if you distort the idea, it gets distorted. Your environment will get. You only live once and enjoy the once. And that is where we have created a culture of earn and burn. You earn and then burn up. Or sometime in the shopping mall you go, you have fun, food, fashion, and film. You see this when these malls come in, fun, food, fashion, and film, how much disaster they do to the environment and to the nature. So this philosophy, now how do you cut an idea? Idea has to be cut with idea. And if you want to cut this idea and bring it towards the sustainability, you will have to bring in collective philosophy. And collective philosophy is future. It is not I only live once. I have to think also of the next generation. And many of the time you feel that they again become like so much lower end people that they live for themselves, I, me, and mine. Dangerous thinking, and individualism encourages this kind of thinking. Saddest which has gone into the collective level. And very important, I use humor, and sometimes I use literature also, because Paradise Lost and Paradise Gained. John Milton, he lost his eyes and he said, I lost everything. Paradise Lost. And when in that he came out with a masterpiece, a work which was more popular and that was Paradise Gained. Okay, so this is very, very important factor which is there. Let us go with this Eric Fromm, because he talked also about the environment. Very not discourse may Eric Fromm doesn't come only. And I'm a great this thing, even in psychology, he's marginalized. Now some books I will give it to y'all. If anything interests you, you can you include it. And if you do the behavior and psychology engagement, it will be very nice, His famous word, escape from freedom. People want to escape from freedom, and then they want to derive mastery. And mastery how? He narrates, he goes, if you see, to have or to be the sane society, fear of freedom, man for himself, and inquiry into the psychology of ethics. Interesting work he has done. All this, if you read 5 books, which will give the understanding. In his this work, a very important thing which comes out, he says that if you do the tracing of the social system, in the earlier years, people were living with the nature, which is called as cosmic unity. Yeah? He talks about homeostatic balance, harmony with the society. See, doctors and medical science and even psychology talked about homeostasis of the body. Disease happen because you are not at ease, because your homeostatic balance has gone, and that is why disease has happened. Now, I will enlarge this concept of disease at individual level to a community level. Thus, disease, the society has become diseased. Yes, society has also become a disease. It's a mental health, mental problem. The society needs hospitalization. When we say that individual needs hospitalization, I will say that the society needs hospitalization. Where do we take him? वो मालगुडी डेज में बोलते हैं ना, गांव का एक आदमी पागल होएगा तो आप कुछ कर सकते हैं, जब गांव का गांव ही पागल होएगा तो आप क्या करेगा? Though we don't use the word pagal and all that thing, but I'm speaking, if one person is irrational, you can do something, but if the whole society is irrational, what can you do it? Now here it comes is the cosmic unity. You take 4 generations back, people were living with harmony with the nature. And then happiness was there, everything was there. This problem, the whole, what we call as an American problem, our cities, our society were not facing it. With urbanization and all that which we came. So we have to do a rethinking or stock of thinking that on which model we are going. Do we have a roadmap? Do we have it? And is the community participation is there? Generally, it is not there. Few people decide. And few decide, and many it is implemented on all. So cosmic unity was there, but as things progressed, science came in, and science also became more and more individualistic. We moved on to social unity. From there, we came to the society, tribes, and we restricted to village. From social unity, people came to urbanization, industrialization happened in last maybe 200 years. Industrialization happened, or 150 years. Cities, people started moving in cities. And this is also we are seeing in Mumbai. Smart city and all this concept, people started moving in. And when industrialization happened, we came in psychological unity, which is called as only our family, which is maybe 4-member people, 5-member family. So we moved from cosmic unity, we came to social unity. Now we have come to the family unity. From family, today we are on to virtual unity. Virtual unity means family exists only on the virtual. So you will get this concept of married bachelor. So you ask the CEO, what do you mean by married bachelor? He'll say that my wife is in Singapore, husband is in, son is in America, and daughter is in Germany. Meaninglessness happens, alienation happens, the community sustainability. This is creating a lot of imbalances. As sometimes what happens, aging happens, people die. Son will send this thing, and that disposal is done by the agency. Grief is done by the agency. Now today we have the disposal of body agencies also, which will come in. How many people you need for grief, how many people you require. So from womb to tomb, you find that outsourcing things have come in. So Eric Fromm talks about what happens. And here Sigmund Freud comes into his picture. His famous book, 1939, Civilization and Its Discontent. He says the price we had paid for progress in civilization is forfeiting happiness through heightening sense of guilt, increase in neurosis and psychosis. So when you see this, the way things are happening, and the cities like Mumbai, I've seen in the last 30, 35 years, 40 years, we didn't have the concept of towers. When we speak about sustainable development in education, we find that earlier Britishers built this tower. Rajabai Tower was the highest tower in city of Mumbai.